Hello, David. I just got on a live.
Oh, you just got on a live?
Yeah.
Exactly when I said I'd call you on my dinner break?
Well, I'll get off it.
Well, I guess you don't like to talk to me, huh?
Well, I just said I'll get off the live.
I don't want you to do that.
I'll be back.
Huh?
I'll get back on the live after I talk to you.
Whatever you want to do. I'm not actually pressuring you to do anything.
You're what?
I'm not pressuring you to do anything.
We could talk on the live too.
I don't see how that would be any fun for the viewers.
If they have any questions, I'll just ask them to you on the live.
Well, I got nothing to do for an hour, so.
Okay. You can be on the live with me. There's only one person here right now. I just got on it. So, how's the tournament going?
It's okay. I have 95,000. Starting stack was 40,000.
Oh.
Actually, I got lucky a couple times.
Oh, nice.
I maybe should have busted out.
What happened?
I got super short. A guy raised on the button, and I didn't have that many chips, so I kept building with ace 6. And he thought about it for a while and called it ace 8. And the flop was 6 ace. So pretty safe for me.
666, the devil's number.
Yeah, I have 6 ace.
Nice.
And then another time, I shoved on the turn a little over pot with a pair and a gut shot, and I got called by a bigger pair. So I had 6 outs there, and I hit a set.
Oh, nice. Lady Luck was with you tonight.
Yeah, luck be a lady.
Luck be a virgin tonight. I sang that on the live for the virgin lovers.
Oh, I should bring my sunglasses. Oh. I had them in my backpack. I just didn't bring them outside. Trying to get it on good walk here on my dinner break.
Yeah, they actually don't have a treadmill at this complex.
Do they have a gym?
No, they don't.
No gym?
Nope. Well, Jones, could I call you back a little later?
Okay, but understand that I'm on this break for 50 minutes or whatever. And that's the only time I have to talk.
Okay. Well, I might not be on the live for so long, so I might call you back in a little.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye. Hello, guys. Sorry about that. I was talking to my boyfriend, Beardo. Beardo speaks YouTube. He has one video up, but maybe more will be coming. Apologies for that, but you got to hear a real-life conversation. What do you think, guys? Do I treat him like a simp because he puts me on a pedestal? Do you think I'm about to monkey branch? Do you think that the second that he gave me any kind of emotional connection, that's the exact second I lost respect for him? Do you think he's not, alpha, so I don't respect him? I'm curious. What are your takes? I'm just kidding, guys, but that's a lot of the comments I get on my channel. A lot of the worst fears of people. So anyway, guys, What's up with you guys? How are you doing? I'm ready to pinpoint your mistakes with laser accuracy. All right? Tell me your situations, and I'll tell you that is what you're doing wrong. You keep doing it, you will keep getting the same result. It will be wrong every time. All right? So do this instead, and you will clear up a huge blockage in your dating flow. All right? And if you guys have any questions, let me know. I will try to answer them for you. And then Roughneck Devil says, you know what would really help the quality? Getting a lav mic. You're so right. All right? You're 100% right. You're not wrong at all. You're all right. However, I have no excuse. I have zero excuse. Just know you're right. Oh, hey, look at this. Layla. We got Layla in the chat. Layla, you must be a woman. Please confirm or deny that. Evan Wells 1 says, Layla, I know I've seen you before, but sometimes guys will have like a woman's name and they'll be like, I'm not a woman. I'm like, my apologies. So let me know. Evan, but I'm pretty sure you are one of. Oh, woman indeed. Haha. Okay, very good. Very good. Moving on. And feel free to give your opinion here, Layla, as what I like to call women who join the live certified females. All right. I know that's not some kind of political statement. That's just talking about females because it's kind of funny at this point to call women females, in my opinion. At first, it's shocking. At first, it's horrifying. And then you just kind of laugh. And you enjoy calling people females. Or is that just me? So Evan Wells 1 said, I got some play with a person first night we met, and that's probably over now. But the bartender I was working on for months, I scared away. Okay, well, very good, Evan Wells. That's what it's all about. Okay? You work on someone for months, it doesn't work. It sucks. It's kind of like a waste, but hey, you probably learned something in the process. However, perhaps your skills with that person possibly transfer over to a new person. So it's great that you're just getting options, you're getting out there, you're meeting different people, and with some people it works, with some people it doesn't work. That's the way it goes, all right? Even for Chads, even for Chad himself, even for Tyrone himself, that's literally the way it goes for them. People don't want to believe that. They want to believe that Chad never gets rejected. Chad gets rejected too, okay? Probably just less. But that's great, Evan Wells. So what kind of play? And Layla, do you agree? Chad gets rejected. I'm sure Layla has rejected plenty of Chads. Kevin Heslop says, lol. Mezer Liptic J says, hey. Hello, Mezer. DeCoop says, how should I approach a one-night stand? Okay, give me a little more details, but I've had quite a few one-night stands, so I can definitely tell you everything you need to know about a one-night stand. What is your question about one-night stand? Like, how do you approach getting a one-night stand? Once you have a one-night stand in your bed, what should you do to make it a good experience for her? How should you follow up after a one-night stand? Like, what's, what I'm saying? Anonymous says, what is the most common mistake you see in the men you coach? All right, that's a good question. Let me think. All right, a whole bunch are coming to mind. All right, the most common mistake. One common mistake, I'll just go with kind of like a top. This is definitely in the top 5, okay? Let's just say top 10 to make it easier for me. So I don't have to narrow it down right now to the peak mistake, but let's see. If I had to just boil down, well, it's interesting because like it's a really good question. I'm trying to think. I'm like, let me condense every session I've had. What would be one of the most common? Well, one really common one I see is that they do not know how to persist, basically. Like, a lot of times guys will show me their text messages and they'll be like, so it's over, right? Or she didn't like me, right? Or there's no point in following up, right? Or it's been months and, there's no point in reaching out, right? Or I double texted here, so I shouldn't follow up again, right? Or she said she was busy this day, so there's no point in asking her to hang out a different day or asking her on another date. They have kind of like they just take themselves out of the running very easily. And in all of these situations, I look at what the girl said, and being a girl, I know that I've been on the texting side, the female texting side of these text exchanges many a time. And I know what I was thinking. And I know how guys who are good with women reacted in these situations. And trust me, the guys who are good with women persist. They keep reaching out. It's like they're, job hunting and they're persistent, basically. They're not like insanely stalker like, but they reach out again. They haven't talked to you for 4 months and they're reaching out again. They have no qualms about it. It's just like a habit for them. It's like a deeply ingrained attitude towards dating. So I see a lot of guys who, they're already sensitive about rejection, about not being desirable, about, girls not wanting them. And so they kind of interpret the text message from girls as more negative and more of rejection than they actually are, when the true attitude that gets girls and girls respond to is one that's much more persistent, but in a casual, calm way. So that's just one that comes to mind. Like, I really see that. There's so many times, I look at their text message and I'm just like, you could reach out again. You could and you should. Why give up the opportunities that you do have? So that's just one I see a lot, but that would be a great video because there's a whole lot more. What do you guys think? And Layla, what do you think about that? So Anonymous says a whole bunch were cooked. Well, I don't see this one in my consultation so much, but I do see this one on my channel a lot. This whole idea of that if a woman has sexual experience, like you're cooked, like it's over for you. It's a huge myth because women don't recognize they follow men's lead in the bedroom most of the time, okay? Unless the woman is like extremely empowered, extremely experienced, okay? For the most part, they're still kind of thinking like men hold the upper hand sexually, especially if they've gotten in bed with you, they respect you enough, they kind of like admire you enough that they think you have the upper hand sexually. So you have the benefit of the doubt in this situation, but a lot of guys are scared unnecessarily. So Robert Nestor says, my standards are too high. Every woman I've been with since my divorce have been executive doctors, entrepreneurs with more wealth than I since. Is it ever worth just getting laid? Well, I'm confused, Robert Nestor. Is it ever worth getting laid? Do you like sex? If so, then it is always worth just getting laid, okay? This is probably actually the biggest, what was the word? Like the biggest mistake I see in my consultations with women. Honestly, this is probably it. Most of them, they are just very, very, very fixated on attractive women to the exclusion of all else. They pass up the opportunities they do have because it's more important for them to be validated by a woman who looks that good than it is to have sex. So they're not getting laid, they're not getting experience, they're not getting practice, they're not getting better sexually because it's all about, it doesn't matter how young they are, hopefully they're over 18, right? But it's basically whoever looks the best is who I need to validate my self-esteem. That's honestly the biggest mistake, I would say, I see in the consultations. Like, in my opinion, you guys should be flirting with everyone and anyone, getting practice, getting experience, lowering your standards so that you actually improve with women, you get comfortable with women, you're not so on edge when you do meet the girl of your dreams, basically. Okay? But that is definitely, you jogged my memory, Robert Nestor. That is probably the number one mistake. So, yeah, is it ever worth getting laid? Of course. It's like, yes. Like, I mean, some people are, more asexual than others, but if you like sex, it's always worth getting laid. So, hello, Ellis. Welcome. Roughneck Delta says, Vic, do you think girls would rather talk on the phone than text? I've watched Matthew Hussey's video and he seems to think that. I don't think so, Roughneck Delta. I mean, you could try it, but in general, I don't really think so. I mean, if the girl really likes you, she might kind of think, oh, that's kind of nice. Like, he called me, that stands out. But, I mean, if you've just barely know the girl, she might not answer the phone because it's like, I don't know this guy. But, yeah, I think most people prefer to text in this day and age. However, you could try this phone thing, see how it goes. I mean, ultimately, they prefer phone, like once you're in a relationship, obviously. But, like, before you've met them, before you've had sex with them, before you've been on a date with them, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends, like, how good your personality is. Like, maybe you could win them over on the phone, you can't over text, but you're also taking the risk that they're like, oh, uh-oh, the phone's ringing. Oh, God. Maybe I'll just ignore this guy. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Layla, what do you think? So Dave says, talk on the phone. It's more aggressive and they can't blackmail you, lol. I'm not sure what this means, Dave. Anonymous says, double text, okay. After how many days? Seen it described as an ick before. Well, the thing is, Anonymous, like, people read into this rule way too seriously. Okay, there's many times where it's your turn to bat the tennis ball over the net, and yet because it would be a double text, they refuse to do it. Like, for example, you're in a conversation and your last text did not include a question, okay? But it kind of could be implied that someone could just, like, respond anyway. So the conversation is ended. You didn't bat the ball back over the net to her with a question, so she has no need to respond. And as a woman, she doesn't feel the need to initiate and pursue you because she feels that's a man's role. So therefore, you're going to need to double text to initiate with her again, like asking her on a date or asking her another question or sending her something interesting or whatever. So it's not always an ick. Sometimes it's just literally what you have to do as the leader of the pursuit, the courting and dating. So there's many times where guys are like, I can't triple text now. I'm like, you literally have to. And trust me, guys who are texting me had no problem with it. All right. So the guys who do have a problem with it are just going to stall. They're just going to weed themselves out. I promise you that. Okay. However, you do want to have like this attitude of being casual, not desperate, not needy. Okay. So you can let it breathe a little bit if you want. All right. Don't act like, panicked if she's not responding. You just kind of you need to act unfazed, like you have options, and you actually should have options, not just pretend you have options. But yeah. So let's see. Layla says, agreed. Side note, a lot of times I watch your videos to remind me how I feel as a woman and get a look at both sides of the coin. Lol. Oh my gosh, Layla, that's amazing. Oh, that actually makes me want to post more videos. That is so great and really cool to hear. Baxter Maxter says, is waiting a day to text after getting getting a number bad? How long should I wait for a response? It is not bad to wait a day to text after getting a number. It is not bad. It's fine. Perhaps it's even, I think that day is fine, and the day after is fine. Up to 3 days in this day and age is probably like pushing it, but let's make that the outer max. I mean, there really is no outer max, okay? You guys need to have the attitude like, I can text her whenever I want, trust me. And Layla can back me up here. Guys are doing that. Aren't they, Layla? Have you ever had the experience of a guy who hasn't talked to you in like 10 years suddenly start like messaging you on Facebook or something out of the blue when he's horny one night or whatever? Like, they're doing it all the time, okay? Just FYI. So, yeah, but how long should I wait for a response? You Well, I feel like the question is kind of bad because it's like you shouldn't really be waiting for a response. Like, you shouldn't just having this one-itis, like putting all the pressure on her. Keep your options open. Keep trying to ask out other people. Keep trying to get other people's numbers so you're not like waiting by the phone. You know what I'm saying? But how long should you wait for a response? I'd give a couple days before maybe if she just doesn't respond at all, you kind of realize, okay, I guess she's probably not going to respond. But maybe up to a week. That's kind of pushing it, but don't be waiting during that time period. You know what I mean? So Michael says, I love your vibe. Thank you, Michael. Daniel says, phones are for setting dates. I think I agree with you, Daniel. Like, that should really be what it's about. I agree. That's another mistake I've seen in my consultations. Texting, getting to know each other, being a nice guy, trying to just text indefinitely, and the woman basically loses interest through that. I agree. Text to set up the date. Layla says, I feel like phone calls for just regular conversations are appropriate after some time. Just met, then no. Yeah, I agree with you, Layla. That's kind of what I was thinking as well. Paul Kramer says, I hate texting. Texting is impersonal. Yeah, I know what you mean, Paul. I mean, it kind of sucks. Okay, I know, I definitely know what you mean. I too wish it could all be like in person, but in the beginning, you kind of gotta ease people into that. So then Layla says, I hate texting and I've fallen into the loop of the guy thinking I'm not interested, but I think it just depends on the relationship you have so far. Yep. Joseph says, hi, Victoria. I've tried to call a woman twice after texting her a few times. She agreed to talk, but when I called and left messages, she never called me back. Yeah, well, that's actually very normal, Joseph, and that you bring up a good point, okay? Because like I always try to tell you guys on this channel, all right? Women, and Layla, would you agree with this? Okay, this is the advice we get as women. Women feel that it is like a slight against their self-esteem to call a man. Basically, like when I was dating, if a guy gave me his number, I would not text him, okay? Because I felt it was like such a slight basically on me to pursue a guy. I wanted to be pursued. I wanted a guy who had like persistence. I wanted a guy who would initiate, who could take the lead in dating. Okay, that's what I was looking for. And that's what a lot of women are looking for. That's what the majority of women are looking for. So, yeah, if you call a woman, don't expect that she's going to pick up the phone and call you back, because in her mind, what that means is, I am desperate to call a man. I am desperate for men. I'm throwing myself at this guy. That's literally how women think. Okay, I'm not just saying this. Layla, is it true? So, yes, that's why she's not going to call you back. That's why you shouldn't give your number to a woman, because it's a rare occurrence that she's going to be like, you know what? Fuck gender roles. Fuck dating coaches. Fuck what society has told me. I'm going to be the man. I'm going to feel like the man today. I'm going to aggressively pursue a man. It's rare that they're going to make that switch. Okay? Does that make sense? So, in your case, Joseph, I would call again. I wouldn't wait for her to call you back. And then when she doesn't call you back, say, oh, she's not interested. All right? Because this is like a big block in women's dating approaches. Okay? Trust me on this. That's why a lot of this red pill stuff is not that good advice wise, unless you have like such insane good looks that a woman has like a burning desire to just reach out. Okay? For most very good looking guys, she's still not going to reach out. Okay? And, you know, not even all women are that obsessed with looks, but many are. Okay? So Layla says, maybe it's odd if there's not that great of a chemistry. Dave says, blackmail was the wrong word. I've known too many chicks who use text to reputationally hurt you, though. Maybe these chicks are a mess, but yeah, texting at first, but phone calls are more manly. I see what you're saying. Like they could post your screenshots on TikTok or something. Yeah, well, hopefully you don't do anything so stupid that it would merit being posted on TikTok. That's what this live is for. I'm going to help you not do that, but yeah. So, Pro Theologist says, hi, Vic. I met Cold Approach, a full, rounded 61-year-old woman after a 6-month recovery. And the last one, 6 months in and steady. Hope you're well. That is incredible, Pro Theologist. I'm so happy for you. Honestly, that's amazing. How's it going with her? And steady, you said. So steady in a good way? Like you're going steady? Paul Kramer says, talking with a stranger by phone or text is tantamount to a phone sex line. It's that impersonal and removed from reality. Well, Paul, you really are from a different time, I must say. Yeah. Joseph says, I gave up. Well, Joseph, this is a case where I get why you would give up, but I don't think you should have given up. I get that it makes sense. We were thinking, if she doesn't call me back at this point, but what you don't understand is in the beginning, before she's met you, like you have to have the persistence of, you know, some 1950s like reporter like knocking on doors, basically. Because she has no, what's the word? No motive, no incentive to basically pursue you at this point. It's up to you to pursue her until you actually get on the date, until she actually gets to know you in person, until she actually likes you, until sometimes you have sex with her. Then the tables turn, often. So Layla says, yes, I don't have really much socials, but the old contacts I have just text and call randomly after months and years. I'm still in a gullible phase, so I have hope that they're different. Wrong. Exactly, Layla. This is the female experience. The old contacts we have in the phone, the guys in our phone, reach out after months and years. And guess what? If you're bored, you might be texting them back. You might say, hey, I got nothing else going on. Let me hit up this guy. So yeah. Michael Cornelius, thank you so much, Michael, for your super chat. I really appreciate your super chat, Michael. And he says, I did not get a notice that you were live. You have a lot of subscribers, but we don't get notified. You deserve better. You are trying to help. Oh, thank you so much, Michael. It's very kind of you. I'm pretty sure you have to hit that notification bell. That's what they always say on YouTube, right? In order to get notified. So I don't know. What do you think? Like YouTube is like censoring me? But but I don't know like how I can really alert them unless if you know, let me know. What do you, and maybe someone else knows as well. So let's see who's next. And thanks again for your super chat and your support, Michael. So let's see. Evan Wells 1 says, isn't it for the most part the woman's role to reach out once things are already established? Like, we're told that we're the ones that shouldn't ask for commitment first. I look at everything through the same lens. Well, okay, I think you're conflating two different things here, Evan Wells. So once things are already established, what do you mean? Okay. Once you have been on, let's say you go on one date with the woman. The woman really likes you. Okay. She's still going to be probably playing it cool. She's still going to be trying to seem like, oh, but she'll be thinking about you. Okay. She'll be hoping you continue initiating and pursuing her. So make sure you initiate and pursue her again. Let's say you go on a second date and that date you have sex. Okay. Let's just say that. She's going to be kind of like, if she likes you, like almost like getting addicted to you a little bit, but you'll still be trying to play it cool, act like she's not interested, basically, and let you continue pursuing and reaching out. However, let's say you continue to keep having sex, keep going on dates. At a certain point, this is like building, like the pressure is building in the woman's head, okay? And at a certain point, she's probably going to bring up the question, what are we? Like, we've been having sex, we've been going on dates. Are we exclusive? Are you seeing other people? And then at that point, to your second sentence, you can kind of be like, yeah, like I really like you. And then you're kind of like in a more powerful position, basically, if you really like her. But rather than if you kind of bring it up first. But if you just stop reaching out once you've been on one date or whatever, or once you've had sex one time, you just stop reaching out and you say, oh, well, it's her role now to reach out. Since things are already established, she might just say, no, he hasn't invested enough in me at this point. Yeah, I like him, but I'm not going to stoop and get rid of my dignity in such a manner that I'm going to be desperately reaching out. That's the man's role. That's what she's thinking in her head. All right. So, yes and no to your question, Evan Wells. Oh, Nani, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And he says, your thoughts on this cat and mice pickle I'm in currently. Can you talk about the female gaze examples I be saying through the text to the girl? Because it's really paying off and I'm enjoying the process. All right, Nani, so should I share like what is going on with you, or okay, so basically I'll just give like, I don't know how much you want me to share, Nani, but I'll give like a general thing, so hopefully I won't reveal too many details. But basically, like, there's this influencer, okay? She's very hot. Wait, Nani, first should I? Okay, yes, share, please, go ahead, lol. Okay, good, because I didn't want to reveal too much. But basically there's this influencer and she's very good looking, all right? She's hot. Okay. And he kind of started like reaching out to her through her stories, and at first I feel like she didn't really respond, or sometimes she would just respond like a little bit. But Nani basically took this attitude that I tell you guys on this channel. He kind of took the masculine role that he's not going to get triggered. He's not going to get defeated, basically, if she doesn't seem like super responsive. He's going to keep reaching out, and like through doing this, it's basically built, and the relationship has basically progressed to the point where they like send voice. Well, he sends like voice notes and she sends voice notes, and she sends like really long messages, and he's been kind of like acting very interested, not acting, but I feel like you probably are interested in her as a person in a kind of a female gaze way, not just you're hot, although he says that too. So he's kind of got like the good mix of both I'm attracted to you and I'm attracted to your personality. Like, I think you're hot, and I want to like know everything about you, and you're special. So he's really playing the female gaze angles, and things have been developing, but sometimes like she won't respond for like weeks or maybe like a week or something, and he doesn't, and he kind of feels like you know, down about it, but he keeps reaching out. Okay, things have heated up to a certain point, but now when it's like he's basically suggested like, oh, let's meet up and stuff, and she's still kind of like teetering on the edge of like, oh, I really want to, but like I have social anxiety, I'm shy. So it's almost like getting to almost like master of, martial arts, like Zen master level of testing him in a way, not like testing him like she probably does have social anxiety. She probably is nervous. She probably is scared to meet him, but it's like he's still not giving up. Okay. In the meantime, he's still asking out other women. He's still living his life. He's still flirting with other people. But, you know, this girl he's persisting with. Nani, what would you say about it? Like what else did you want me to talk about it with? Because it's getting to a point where, you know, either she's gonna crack sooner or later, I think. Eventually, I think you guys are gonna meet. But this is like a very challenging situation. She's a very tough nut to crack. But yeah. So ask Nani any questions. But if he hadn't persisted, he wouldn't have gone this far, that's for sure. And he says he's sending the female gaze texts. Yes. Nani has been an excellent student of the female gaze. He's been reading like romantic-y books and everything and really internalizing the female gaze, and it's working. He's becoming a master seducer who understands the female gaze. Nani says she shares her childhood movies, and I quoted to her, yep. Sooner or later, you guys are going to meet up, I think. But in the meantime, I hope you're keeping your options open, because when she sees that, that could escalate and expedite things. So, thanks again, Nani, for your super generous super chat. All right, so let's go back in the chat. Where was I? I'm kind of lost now, but so Evan, okay. Hey, Evie says, hey, Victoria. Hello, Evie. Archetypical Moth says, I only really have the energy to like one person at a time, so no options. I just skip all this text game if I can. Only time I tried this was for a girl who was really busy with work in college. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. You don't want to just be too direct. It's like, human beings, we kind of require a little small talk and whatnot to kind of suss each other out and warm up to each other, and to just go straight into what's your deepest trauma or whatever, like, just doesn't really go over well with most people. So, yeah. So, IDK says, if you don't know if a girl is into you and DTF by the time you and her go separate ways, then that's not ideal from the get-go. If a girl's not feeling you, text/calls ain't changing that. I mean, that's one approach you can take, which is just, if I meet a girl and she isn't like instantly DTF, then like I move on. I mean, I think it's stupid, but if you want to go that approach, like waiting for that small percentage of girls who's just seeing you and it's like DTF immediately, you can do that. All right. It makes things simple. You also have way less options. All right. And you have to wait for a girl who's super horny, super turned on. And that's not going to be a huge portion of the female population, even if they would want to have sex with you. But you can take that approach, like, hey, I don't care. I'll settle for like this smaller percentage of the female population / perhaps none for months or even years. You can do that. So Hakeem says, hi, Victoria. I'm 25. She's 30. I'm her type of guy and have consistent good conversation with her. She talk a lot about her ex and says that I'm too young. Okay. Well, just because a girl says you're too young doesn't mean anything. All right? Like one master seducer I talked to, okay, this is what he would say when a girl's too young. Um, Even though I'm younger than you, I can still make you feel like a little girl. Okay? So it's basically reassuring her that even though you're young, you can still take the dominant role. You're still attracted to her. You still want her. You still want to pursue her. And you can still be in the masculine role. Because girls are kind of insecure. Well, I'm old. He won't think of me as kind of like feminine because, men like kind of like young and dumb and naive women. So she's kind of like, how do I say this? Putting forth her insecurities and basically saying, reassure me, or can you? And if you're just like kind of all defensive about it, she might be like, yeah, he is kind of young. But if you're like, I'm young, but that doesn't mean that I can't make you feel like a woman, you know what I mean? She's gonna be like, oh, okay, well, maybe he's up to the task. Maybe like this could be okay. So that's kind of the attitude you want to take. So Christian Hunter says, love you, Vicky. Thank you, Christian. So Luis says, what do you say to act on the woman's interest/signs, but still be open for her to lose interest and stay ready to move on? Appreciate your all effort on all of the videos and lives. Thanks, Luis. So I don't love it. I mean, obviously there's like a grain of truth in what you're saying. Like, if she's giving you like if she's giving you an obvious sign, you can act on it. You should be open always for her to lose interest so you don't get like entitled and triggered, and be ready to move on. Yeah, don't cling to people and don't be desperate. So that's all good advice, but I don't like, as you guys know, I talk about on my channel a lot, like the green light fallacy, and just how men, like, I don't know if you were here earlier in the live, Luis, but I was trying to describe to you guys how women see things in dating. Okay. They feel they don't need to show too much interest or signs because of the hypermasculinity bias. They feel that it's men's role and men's job to do all the pursuing. So if you're waiting, looking around for a woman's signs, you may be waiting forever. All right? So it's a better attitude that you see someone you like, you go over and talk to her, and maybe in the process of talking to you, she becomes interested. Rather than you're waiting for some girl who's like super horny, like someone else just said, IDK, where she's like all wet and gushing and like ready to jump on your dick. And then you make a move because you're like, there's no chance I'm going to get rejected here. It's perfect. All right. First of all, there's not a lot of women like that who are just walking around on the prowl, super horny. I mean, if there were, they'd probably become a legal sex worker or something because they'd capitalize upon this rare gift for women that, they're not selective. They're just open and like voracious for sex. And they can't get enough, even with like the hordes of men who would be open to have sex with them whenever they feel horny. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's just silly, and it's kind of like a male fantasy, I think, that there's just all these women. There's like some women, they're like cold as ice and they're like prudes. And then there's other women who are like seeing a guy, they see like the outline of his dick or something through his pants, or they see his jawline, and they're just like ready to fuck. And if you approach those women, trust me, your self-esteem will never be hurt. You will never have to deal with any kind of like blow to your ego because you will never get rejected. Like, I don't know, is it different? What do you guys think? So Freedom Fox 1 says, your masculinity comes across so much better when you can talk. Text is so sterile. Oh, I agree. Layla, our certified female on this chat, she says, for sure. Haha, it puts me in the chasing position. It feels awkward to call and be turned away sometimes because they're busy or so. Exactly. Okay. So another woman's backing me up here. This is what we feel. This is what we're told. This is how we're kind of societally shaped. We don't want to be in the pursuing role in the beginning. If we have to be, we will. If we get addicted to the sex or whatever, we will. But in the beginning, we're not put in that position because we have options. Does it make sense? So Cyber LA says men have to do all the work. Yeah, Cyber LA Rudy. In the beginning in dating, men do have to do all the work to get with women. That's like the game, basically. Okay. I mean, the sooner you accept that, the sooner you will like shed your beta attitudes like a skin. And I'm not saying you, Cyber LA, but just any guy. Like, it's kind of like a hard truth that the men have to stop wanting to say, I'm the prize, because you'll be saying you're the prize and nothing happens. You'll just be saying you're the prize and it's like no one wants the prize. So it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. So then Ellis is talking to Layla here. Awesome. We'll see what Layla says. And he says, Victoria, you are one hell of a liaison between men and women when it comes to the male-female interactions. Thank you, Ellis. Dave Vi Cavallo says, she really likes me and feels a lot of attraction too, but she has a habit of posting sexy photos on Instagram. I'm thinking about making it a condition of dating that she stops this habit. Dave, I am telling you, okay? I don't know you, but I'm honestly telling you this out of the goodness of my heart. Truly, this is a horrible idea, okay? This just reeks of insecurity. It screams insecurity to a woman, okay? So she likes you, but she likes posting sexy photos of herself on Instagram. You're going to kill it, okay? You're going to kill this guaranteed by trying to tell her to not post sexy photos. Like, I'm telling you, she's going to see you as very, very, very weak, desperate, insecure. I promise you that, okay? Unless maybe she was like raised Christian and like I can get to her a little bit still, but I mean, a guy who did this, Jonah Hill, basically became a laughingstock on the internet because his girlfriend was a professional surfer, so she posts photos of herself surfing in like bikinis, right? And he forced her to stop doing that, and it literally went viral over the internet because every single woman was like mind boggled at like the insecurity. Okay, you have to take the attitude of I am enough to attract a woman who attracts other guys. Okay, literally, you have to think of yourself in the running and winning the competition rather than I can't compete if other guys are attracted to her, so let me make sure that no other guys know she's sexy and stop being attracted to her. Okay, it's a very beta attitude to just believe that, you know, I have no chance. If she has if she has a lot of competition, why would I win? Why can't I compete? I can't. Do you see how that's very beta? Masculine attitude in the woman's mind is I have a sexy girlfriend. She's coming home with me. This is like hot because basically they want you to think, damn, like you're so hot, like supporting her sexual expression. Like, seriously, this is how women want you to think. Layla, is it true? Okay, they don't want you to like throw a burqa over them. They don't want you to just say, you know, there's a sound trending on TikTok right now. It's a girls just want to have fun, but it's like this really cool cover. And they focus on the line. Some guys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. Okay? And then like women are posting stories of like abusive boyfriends and stuff, okay? Because we know that's what guys' instinct is, and we know that like we hate it because it's like celebrate her beauty, celebrate her sexuality rather than, oh no, if other people see she's hot, What does that mean for me? Do you see the difference? Layla, back me up here. And he says, am I being fair? No, you're not being fair, Dave. Okay? There's so much like shaming of female sexuality. You should be kind of like the protector and the supporter of hers, not one who's taking a beautiful girl and hiding her away from the rest of the world, basically. So, all horse racing all the time. Hi, Victoria. Great seeing you out here on live and on another roll. Thanks, all. Horse racing all the time. Anonymous says, okay. So Michael says, are you on Twitter? I'm not, but that is a good point, Michael. So Sphere Tonic says, speaking of gullible phase, chick calls me after a 2-year hiatus, says sex was great and wants more. What? Me thinks she ran out of money, blocked her. Imagine a guy doing this to a chick. Guys do this to chicks all the time. All right? I'm not sure like what planet you live on, Sphere, but that's exactly what guys do to women. Okay? They just say WYD or hey, long time, like no chat, and women know it means they want more sex. So I'm gonna reserve judgment that this is some kind of like veiled brag. When I get my soundboard, I'm gonna have a sound for this kind of comment. But I mean, I don't want to be rude, but I'm thinking this is not the flex you think it is. Okay, like why would you block her? That makes absolutely zero sense unless you're asexual. Okay, let's say this is actually true. Okay, a woman calls you up, says she wants to have sex with you, and you block her. Do you like sex? I'll let you think about that. Lucky says, I'm dating an inexperienced girl who says she appreciates my compliments, but she's dry and struggles to compliment back. Should I keep it up or back off a bit? It feels a little off balance. Lucky, I don't know how much is her, like she really never compliments you back, and how much you're kind of expecting this like equal 50-50 split. Okay, because like I'm saying, most women, they want to be the object of desire in the relationship. And they want the man to be the perceiver of the object of desire. So they want to feel complimented and they don't want to have to give back equal compliments and have you equally the object of desire. Okay, this causes issues in heterosexual relationships because men want to be the object of desire too. All right, but women don't want to give up this role where they're the object of desire and you're the admirer. Okay, she's the beauty, you're the admirer of the beauty. So yeah, it's going to feel a little off balance, but this is a very common heterosexual dynamic and one that some guys need to accept because they really want to be, it's equal. Like you send a nude and I say, oh, damn, you're hot. And then the man sends a nude and she says, damn, like your dick is amazing. Like it's so big. That's not the way it's going to work for a lot of women. They're not thinking like that. They have the hypermasculinity bias. They think that men don't really like need all that validation and reassurance about like being sexually desirable. They don't know that men have like insecurities like that. And so they don't feel the need to kind of do like an equal exchange of this kind of like admiration. All right. However, it could be just her too. Like she's shy and she's kind of not really very socially skilled and doesn't really understand. Give him a freaking compliment back. So I don't know if you want to get rid of her and get someone new, or you just want to accept it. It's up to you. It was me. I'd probably find someone who complimented back because, like my boyfriend, he told me his ex never complimented him. And I'm like, what? And sometimes he said he would ask her, like, what do you like about me or something like that? And she couldn't think of one thing. Okay. For me, if my boyfriend asked me that, I'm like, okay, sure. Like, gladly, I'll compliment you back. And I could go on for maybe 15 minutes or more if you let me. Okay. So some people, they're kind of clueless, they're weird, they're rude, but yeah, consider what I said as well. So, and maybe, I don't know. What do you guys think? So Layla says, Ellis, it says, both from my experience, I've done the same in some cases. My eyes and I back off when it starts moving too fast physically, or I even slightly regret moving too fast physically. Do you think you're both on the same page of what you're looking for? Maybe she got the wrong messages. Yeah. Good advice, Layla. Okay. Where are we? In the chat. Wait. So Christian says, give me a text suggestion for a girl I'm trying to woo back. Known her for a year, apart about a month. Well, one good thing you can do is like if you know her well, like send her basically a meme or a link or like something that's relevant to something you guys talked about, something you know she likes, something that's her interest. Okay? Because then it's like an easy conversation starter rather than just like, how have you been? Or whatever. You know what I mean? And like say like, oh, I saw this and I was thinking of you. Like, what do you think of this or something? Or you could even add how you've been to that, but then it just gives her something to like to rekindle the conversation with. So Evan Wells one says, women want you to stay in full-on courting mode even after you've had sex. Just seems very counterintuitive given all of our conditioning. Why, Evan Wells one? Given all the female conditioning, this is not counterintuitive at all. So why is it for you? Hello, Dark Trap Studio. So Dark Trap Studio says, do you have a video on texting? How do we should text women's? How should we text women? Well, this is like a huge, that's like saying, how do I talk to women? I mean, in what situation? Like just everything? Like, can you be a little more specific? Michael Lee says, guys, don't ask women for advice about women and don't care what they want. They don't know. Ask a father figure. I mean, I'm sorry, Michael Lee. I have to say this is really stupid advice. Okay, your fathers were just as clueless as you guys are. They got all the male blind spots. Okay, they think like a man. They don't understand women. And, they're probably from a different time period as well. Dating apps didn't exist. Texting probably didn't exist. So, yeah, I don't see why your fathers, they're just older men. They're men, what, in their 40s, their 50s, their 60s? Trust me, those men don't have a clue either, okay? They're still very confused about women. I mean, if you found some, like, serious playboy that you know, okay, who was, like, not very good looking, but still insanely good with women, then by all means, like, get him to mentor you. You know what I mean? But, just like a random man, like knowing more than a random woman, I mean, I don't think so. I'm not saying all women give good dating advice, but it's just silly. So Sensei says, Victoria, I have a serious dream about making it in music. Do you think it's wise to forget dating so it doesn't distract me while I pursue this dream? Keep in mind, I'm open to a good woman. Well, Sensei, I mean, that's up to you. I don't want to distract you from your dream. I think it's possible to do both, but I mean, if you think like, no, it's not, because that's taken away 1 hour from my dream about making it in music. I mean, I guess just focus on music, but I don't think it's wise to forget about dating. But you could always just go to like illegal sex workers. You could kind of like get experience with women that way. So you kind of keep in the loop and your social skills don't atrophy while you're pursuing your dream of making it in music. Sver says, at work, a chick goes out with my coworkers, but she likes my jokes and said I should write them. Told her I wrote a book and she is now reading it. Don't want to give her cold feet nor upset coworkers. I'm confused why this would give her cold feet or upset your coworkers. she's going out with your friend basically or your coworker. So what? Okay, you gave her a book you wrote, and she's reading it. So maybe if she breaks up with that guy, you guys can date. Dark Trap says, male advice is bad. Since I know Victoria, I see most women stare even with their boyfriend. Well, this is a common male blind spot. Like, oh, like women have a boyfriend, but they stared at me. They want to fuck me. They want to fuck me so bad. I don't know, Dark Trap Studio. Oh, stare at me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, people are going to be making eye contact, all right? Even if you have a boyfriend, that doesn't stop you from making eye contact. So, Joseph says, so if I contact this woman again after 2 no callback, what's the best way to approach it? Text and set up a date via text instead of call, and I hope she shows up to the restaurant. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't really respond to the calls, so why not try texting this time and see if she responds to that? And if she doesn't respond to that, I would just move on. But yeah, one way you can like make kind of confirm. Let's say she agrees to go to the restaurant with you. Confirm before you get to the restaurant. This is another thing I learned from the master seducer, okay, that I talked to. You send a text message saying, hey, I'm going to be 5 minutes late for dinner tonight. Okay, and then at that point, if they're going to cancel, they can text you and be like, oh, sorry, I can't make it. But that way, you don't just show up and then she flakes on you while you've already sat at the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So, A says, and what about battery girls? What does that mean, A? Sphere says, women's signs are subconscious. If she wants a drink, green. If French and shaven legs, green, green, green. I have to be rude here. Beta, beta, beta. This is an extremely beta mindset, okay? I mean, this reads as if you're like 10 years old or something, and, some guy whispered to you, oh my gosh, French girls, they all they want to do is fuck. Okay, if a girl has shaven legs, she wants to fuck, dude. Like, no. Okay, most women shave their legs, so that's really not a green light. There's a whole range of French women, okay? And if she wants a drink, I mean, women see getting a drink from a guy as kind of just like, I'm open to talking to you. It doesn't mean I want to have sex with you yet. It means I'm open to seeing if this could go further. That's what it means, basically. So Dark Trap says, be a lion, not an emasculated neo-feminist. You unleash me, Victoria. Thanks a lot. I don't accept that because I don't agree with this. Not an emasculated neo-feminist. I'm a feminist. I think you guys should be feminists, okay? Feminism is a huge umbrella, all right? There's many different ideas, philosophies under the big umbrella of feminism, okay? So yes, there's some like extreme man-hating feminists who have no sympathy for men and male tears, okay? And I understand why that hurts, all right? But there's a lot of other different ideas in feminism, and the more you understand those ideas, the more you can understand how women are thinking, their mindset, their mentalities. Yes, they might have a few blind spots, okay? They might not understand the male side, but by understanding women's issues, what women care about, what women are upset about, you can understand women, all right? I'm not saying just, go to your local feminist that you meet on the street, ask them for dating advice, and then do everything they say, okay? They're not a dating counselor. They're not a dating coach. They're a feminist, okay? They're talking about philosophy, basically. So, yeah. But to just say, oh, feminism is a problem, and, I used to be an emasculated neo-feminist, it's silly. Because, like, for example, most women want to date a guy who is not just like, fuck feminists. Feminists are the problem. Women are to blame. No woman wants that. Really. I'm telling you. Okay? That's not to say there's not more than be a gentleman, be a nice guy, or whatever just your typical women's advice is. I'm not saying that, but don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Joseph super chatted me. Thank you so much, Joseph. Let's see if he's left something down and further in the chat. Oh, he says, thanks, Victoria. Okay, no problem, Joseph. Let me know how it goes. All right, and don't fixate on this woman. Try to get some other numbers as well. All right, because who knows what's going on with her? You know what I mean? Dark Trap says he is a feminist. He said, "Don't be an emasculated neo-feminist." So, what's your definition of neo-feminism? And thanks again, Joseph, for your super chat. So, all right, let's go back in the chat to where we were so I don't skip anyone. Oh, wait, we got another super chat from Lucky Prime. Thank you so much, Lucky Prime. Let me see if you had a question that didn't come through. Lucky Prime, do you have a question? Let me know. Thank you so much for your super chat. So, where were we in the chat, guys? So, Michael says, I talked to a girl, daytime, after eye contact. We talked for 10 minutes, great chemistry. I get her number, send a text, nothing. One more in a week, nothing. How many more texts/frequency do you suggest? All right, Michael, first of all, you have to accept that people are going to flake. All right. It's not totally in your control. Sometimes it might be in your control, but sometimes it's not totally in your control, right? You don't know what's going on with this girl. All right. There could be 100 things, 1,000 things, really. But tell me, Michael, what you sent in your text, because what little is in your control, we'll see if there's any mistakes you made. So what did you text her? You know, if you sent her the perfect text and I'm like, yeah, that's good. Okay, sometimes people are just going to flake. You have like your flake rate. You know what I'm saying? So you have to keep, take this as positive feedback that there was great chemistry. She gave you her number and keep going. Keep doing this with other girls. Okay. It sucks. It sucks. I get it. But like I said, tell me what you texted her in case you did do something wrong. But in this situation, let's say you did nothing wrong. I'd reach out like one more time, and maybe like make it a little more interesting than the first two. So Michael Lee says, this girl is on here for attention for herself. How do you guys not see it? I'm not spamming. This is my last comment. Get off the phone and be indifferent. You are the superior gender. Act like it. Oh God, Michael. So, okay, your point is men are the superior gender. Stop watching YouTube and what? Be indifferent? Yeah, how's that working out for you, Michael? Be honest. Archetypical moth says, any human advice should be taken with a grain of salt and weighed against others. I completely agree, archetypical moth. So archetypical moth says, she is a human. Wow, archetypical moth. Did that need to be stated? Yes, I am human. I appreciate her ideas, but she is not my only source of info, just like everyone else here. Well, I get what you're saying, archetypical moth, but yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, this should be obvious. And I think you're trying to defend me, archetypical moth, so I'm not making fun of you or anything. But I mean, yes, this is obvious. You guys should all be like getting multiple sources of info and applying it to your own life, testing it out, experimenting, see what works for you. Absolutely. But yeah, I am human. Svera says, girl is interested only now when she is interested, maybe not at all later. Go when the going is good. Would you stand a woman up if on the way a Vegas armored truck lost a bag of gold in her way? What the hell? What does this mean? Dustin says, well, women are like flowers. They only bloom for a while in their youth, generally, so enjoy it while it lasts. Don't squander it in the darkness. Okay, this is such a disgusting take. I'm sorry, Dustin. Yes, like, your base, I mean, it's gross. Okay. It is gross. Like, oh, I only want a young girl who's in full flower. After that, I will just continue to hunt virgins because, I want to deflower the flowers. It's just weird, okay? Treat women as people and you'll do a lot better, okay? And if you just want a woman who's in the full flower of her youth, maybe you can go for some legal sex workers who are very young and leave women alone. So, anyway. Lucky Prime says, I was traveling in Italy and met a woman from California. I helped her charge her phone and get back to her hotel, taking the subway together. She was out of my league and probably in her 20s. I'm turning 40 this year. Was it stupid to not shoot my shot? I felt she was too young for me and too hot for me. Sorry I didn't see this, Lucky Prime, earlier when you super chatted me. I was looking for your question, but now I see it. So let's focus on this. Was it stupid of you not to shoot your shot? Yes. It is always stupid of you to not shoot your shot. Okay? Like, I was talking about this with Beardo the other day, okay? And we were talking about this. And he gave me a sports analogy because he's into sports. And he was saying, it's like a Hail Mary in football, or is it in basketball? Probably stupid. I shouldn't be talking about sports since I know nothing about sports. I think it's in football, right? Where it's like, even if you know it's not going to work, you do it anyway. Because there's a chance that it could work. Okay? And guess what? This chance that it could work is greater than the 0% chance that it will be if you never take the Hail Mary. So this percent chance is always better than this percent chance, 0% chance. So yes, it is stupid not to take a small chance rather than have no chance. You know what I'm saying? So yes. And this mentality of she was too young for me and too hot for you. You're 39 and she was in her mid-20s, okay? That's a little bit ridiculous because it's not that crazy, okay? 39-year-old, 25-year-old, 26-year-old, whatever. It's really not a big deal. Maybe she's into older guys. Of course, yes. You should always take the shot. Anytime you talk to a woman and you're kind of like flirting and chatting and you're interested in her, always, 100% of the time, always shoot your shot. Always ask for her number. Every single time. Really. All right. I'm getting steam, so we're going to get into truth bomb territory here, guys, so watch out. But thanks again for your super chat, Lucky Prime. Hopefully I wasn't too harsh on you. I'm just literally trying to tell you, Lucky Prime, that yes, you should have shot your shot. It doesn't matter if you think she's too young for it, too hot for you, okay? It really doesn't matter. Like, what does it matter if she's too hot for you and she says no? Or whatever. Oh my gosh. All right. But the answer is yes. So, making life-changing wealth using Bitcoin says, men, stop appearing desperate by trying to tie women down. All your problems are solved. Agree. So, when I've told women I had a crush on them, it's made them feel very special and feminine. Okay. So Dustin says, my friends tell me that too, Michael Lee. Don't listen to women. They don't know what they want. It's true to an extent, but also untrue to an extent. Women sometimes speak truth. It's a very weak defense, Dustin, but I'll take it. Oh, hello, Lisa. Welcome to another certified female in the chat, guys. If I had my soundboard, I'd make a sound effect for this. Welcome, and give us your takes as well, Lisa, if you're still here. So, making life-changing wealth using Bitcoin says, you have the logic to tune into how men think. You are an invaluable resource. Well, I really hate this emotional being's fallacy that you have used in your statement, making life-changing wealth with Bitcoin. It basically implies most women do not have the logic to tune into how men think, so it's an insult against women, and I don't really appreciate that. But I do appreciate the thought behind it, but not the sexism behind it. So, Gold is mean says, men need to make time and give priority to women if they want a real one. Of course, pursue your dreams, but don't give up on becoming a ladies' man. I completely agree. Gold is mean, completely. So, Dustin says, non-leather, what do you think about a guy developing a strong muscular physique to become more dominant as sort of a replacement for not having the most dominant personality? Can that help? Yeah, it can help, okay? Because looks maxing helps, all right? If you look really good, the halo effect kicks in, right? People want to give you the benefit of the doubt. There's been all these studies showing like people perceive attractive people as like smarter, friendlier, kinder, more empathetic, like all this ridiculous stuff just because they look good. So, yeah, the more you looks max, the more you get into the way you look, the more privilege you're basically going to have, and the more people are going to overlook your flaws, overlook your personality, okay? It's not going to cure everything, but it's definitely going to give you a leg up. So can looks maxing help? Yeah. Okay, for sure. So Dark Trap says it's not eye contact, staring with that look and or testing me and initiating conversation, complimenting. All right, that sounds promising. Sphere says, thanks for your comments, my now other life. Love your no BS slap of reality in a savage world. Thank you, Sphere. And Red Wave says, for real. Thanks. You're welcome, Short says, I had a girl I loved so much, but I couldn't get over her past. Is that my problem? It was from nasty people that she let hit on her the first day, and they were nothing like me. Special moments she shared. Yeah, that's you. That's you being insecure. Okay? I don't know this exact situation, but you couldn't get over her past. Like, maybe she had like a lot of other boyfriends, or she let some people hit on her. Yeah, that's you being insecure. Okay? Really. I mean, I don't know the full situation. Okay, maybe this is like an untrustworthy person, so it wasn't just that. But if all it was is that, let's say she wasn't a virgin, or she had a lot of boyfriends in the past, or she likes to flirt, then yeah, that's you being insecure, because you have to accept that people have relationships before you. People didn't know you at the time, okay? They enjoy flirting, they enjoy living life, they enjoy having sex. That's a good thing for you if you like sex too in your relationship. But you have to be secure enough to know that you are her boyfriend for a reason, or you are dating her for a reason, because she likes you, okay? And she wants to be with you. And if she didn't, she wouldn't. So, yeah, it's you. So Gold is mean says, fill your life with good times and invite your lady of choice to share in those good times. Be open about your intentions. All right, not bad advice. Sharky says, if a girl shows signs of attraction in person but then doesn't respond to texts or calls for days at a time, should I take the hint? I'm not over texting. I send one and wait for a response for context. Okay, well, there's two things here. Okay, one, a lot of times guys, I call it the overperception bias. They overinterpret signs of attraction in person, okay? So it could be you're overinterpreting the signs of attraction in person. However, she could be attracted to you in person, but then not responding to your texts or calls for a different reason. So should you take the hint? First of all, days at a time is not a big deal, okay? It's fine if people don't respond for days, all right? You don't want to be like insecure about that. Just give her days. Give her a week. Don't read into that. And then I'm not over texting. I send one and wait for a response for context. Yeah, like, do not take the hint. Do not shut it down so fast. Just keep her kind of on the back burner and try to ask out other women. Try to get other women who you could text, all right? But don't, flip out on her because she isn't texting fast enough. That is a surefire way to shut down all possibility of anything going anywhere. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know the full situation here, but that's some advice. So then Dave says, please tell me, and Joseph says, thanks, Victoria. Thanks, Joseph. So then Dave says, please tell me if my friend with my art tattoo is into me, lol. I'm trying to be a good influence on her and help her get her life back. I feel like moving in on her is not the best for her. Beta? No, Dave, it's not beta. If you know this woman and you know that it wouldn't be good for you to make a move on her, you're doing the right thing, okay? Find someone else. I don't know if she's into you. If she is into you, then she would want you to make a move. But I don't know how to help you figure that out just from what you've written me. But it's not beta to like be a good person and just realize, okay, I think it's for the best if I don't pursue this. So where were we in the chat? So Jesse says, I work in a physical job with lots of other people. When there is downtime, this one cute girl seems to position herself near me in a close proximity, like closer than is societally normal for a stranger. Okay, Jesse, what are you going to do about it? What is the point? There's one answer here, okay? And that is, why don't you try talking to her and try inviting her to do something, get her number, and start texting to ultimately ask her on a date. That's it. So IDK says, Victoria, can you elaborate on green lights? Because seeing signals is such a massive part of this. Yes, women won't just say, I want to have sex, but they always send signals that men misread/miss. No, they do not always send signals that men misread/miss. Sometimes they don't send signals at all. Imagine that. Because they're like doing their own thing. And then a guy comes and talks to them and they're like, oh, okay, there's a guy in front of me. Wow, I didn't notice him. But now that we're talking, he's cool, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'm open. All right. It's not always like you guys project your own mentalities onto women. Because, like, for you, you're like scanning the place and you see like an attractive figure and you're like, oh my gosh, a hot woman. Oh my God. Oh my God. I wonder if she wants to have sex with me or whatever. That's not what women are thinking. Okay, that is not how they're doing it. Okay, they feel like they're surrounded by men, they're swamped by men. They're not horny all the time because when they are horny, they can have sex. They can go to the club that night and go home with a guy that night. Easy, every single time, 100% of the time. So they're not built up in this constant state of like horny desperation. All right. So they are not looking around, scanning the place and thinking, that guy's attractive. I want to have sex with him. Let me send him a signal so that he knows I want to have sex with him. That's not how they're thinking. Does that make sense? So Sphere says, this live in chat is kind of addictive, lol. Amazing, Sphere. Thank you. So Supersonic says, much respect. Your authenticity is refreshing. There's a lot of BS marketers with bad dating advice flooding social media. Thank you, Supersonic. Jeffrey Cuddletrout says, wow, Michael has problems. Thank you, Jeffrey. Garden for Growth says, I love you. Dustin Watkins says, she's a human? Wow. Lol, Dustin, who knew? Archetypical Moth says, my bad, didn't mean for it to come across like that. I know, Archetypical Moth, that was my just getting annoyed and I didn't mean to come down on you. So You're Welcome says, I had a girl I love so. Oh, we already did this one. So Dave says, word to the wise, older women are way cooler, lol. Give them a chance. You never know. Keep your options open. You're Welcome says, do you do one-on-one consultations? I do. If you go to any of my videos, you'll see my Calendly link in the description, and you can just book one right from there. Agent 15 says, this woman right here is a hero. Wow, thank you, Agent 15. You are too kind. So, all right, Dustin Watkins is leaving. All right. Agent 15 says, I think the thing is people don't want to make a fool out of themselves, and it can feel that way when you shoot your shot and get rejected. Absolutely, Agent 15. Like, you're right. Okay. And this is something I came across in a consultation I did yesterday. All right. And I kind of want to tell you guys a story because it really reminded me of something. All right. So I don't know if I should tell this actually because it's a bit vulnerable, but yes, I get that your whole self-esteem is tied up and it feels like you're like auditioning and the woman is saying you suck or you don't suck. You're not worthy of love, you are worthy of love. You're a loser, you're not a loser. You're pathetic, like piece of trash, and like you're creepy, like get away from me. Basically like you're worthless or you're not worthless. Okay. And what I was saying in this consultation I had yesterday is there's a flaw in that thinking. Okay. There's a big flaw in that thinking. Is that when you ask a woman out, you're following a script, basically, a heterosexual dating script. It's not really a judgment on you. It's a judgment on how closely are you following the script? How closely are you asking a woman out in the right way, approaching her in the right way? Okay. And you guys know that I was a stripper, right? And for a while, I had the same attitude about being a stripper. Is this guy, I won't say his name, okay? But he was saying it feels like you're auditioning naked. Okay, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know the feeling because I literally had to audition naked. Okay. And I feel it was the same thing for me. I kind of felt if they reject me, it's like, ew, you're ugly. Ew, you're gross. Or ew, or no, you're good. And what I didn't realize is basically like the black pill that it's about how closely you adhere to a beauty script, basically. It doesn't have anything to do with you as a person. Like anybody can put on the costume of attractiveness. You know what I'm saying? If I got hair extensions, if I lost, weight, so I had like a very tiny body fat percentage, if I put on a ton of makeup, it's like, then it would be more likely that I would get the job. It's not about I, Victoria, suck as a person. I am worthless as a person. It's how closely am I adhering to the beauty template, basically. And it's the same thing for you guys when you get rejected. It's like, how closely are you adhering to the masculine template? Not, are you so and so in the chat worthless as a human being? So that's what I try to teach you guys on this channel is basically how to adhere to the script. How do they adhere to the script that people expect from you? It's not about you. Anybody can learn these things and adhere to the script. Really. Okay, I'm not saying it's easy because you have to get feedback. You have to work hard on the looks maxing and stuff. That's not easy, but it is doable and it doesn't mean anything about you as a person. Really. People want superficial stuff. They want to feel certain things. Okay? And there's like a formula for feeling the certain things. So does that make sense? Dark Trap. Thank you so much, Dark Trap, for your super chat. And he says, context about texting. I'm a noob and insecure on texting. Met the girl at the bar last Friday. She was falling for me pretty hard that night. Took her number and she left just after. Sounds like a good start, Dark Trap Studio. So Have you texted her yet? Let me ask you that. Okay. And let me ask you guys in the chat, what do you think is a good thing to say? I mean, you could just say like, hey, it's me, that guy from the bar or whatever. Like, you're beautiful, or it was so fun meeting you. I really enjoyed talking to you. Like anything. You just kind of send her a text to like get the conversation started. Okay. You could be like, crazy times last night at the bar, like anything really. I mean, yeah. Does that make sense? That's the first text you should send. Or like, hey, it's me, Dark Trap. I was the guy, and you can kind of make an inside joke about like what you talked about. That's kind of like a typical like first text to get it started. Okay, and then hopefully she'll text something back like, oh hey. Okay, and then you can really get it started. Okay, so okay, so Dark Trap Studio, it might have been cut off in the super chat because the last thing I saw is and she leaves just after. Oh, Layla, goodbye if you're still here. Thank you for participating in the chat. So Bill Holmes says, damn, your explanation of fitting the template is such a brilliant insight. Thank you. Thanks, Bill Holmes. Like, I hope that helped because you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like maybe I should make a video about that because it just hit me so hard. I'm like, it's not about you. You know what I'm saying? Like the same guy, different haircut or whatever, could get a very different response because in one, with the haircut, he more closely fits like the beauty ideal. And so he gets like the privilege of the woman kind of thinking, oh, nice. Like, this is like what I expect. This is like the script. A guy who looks like this comes and talks to me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, I had the same kind of like deep existential fear of getting naked because like I took it way too personally. You know what I mean? Eventually I did it. All right. But it's not really about you as a person. Okay. I'm the same person, perfect body, less perfect body. It's just what do people want from you? They want the template. That's what they want. That's like the sad truth. Okay. Until you give them the template, they don't really want to get to know you that much better. Okay. Once you fit the template, then they kind of like drop some of the expectations and ideals. You know what I'm saying? Once they get to know you better. But in the beginning, it's superficial as fuck. Really. Bill Holmes says, yes, do a video. We can be so insecure about fearing failure, but it just doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, it feels like it matters. But the truth is, if you, Bill Holmes, said the right thing and had the right look, and maybe you already do, Bill Holmes, you would get different results, even if you're the same person you always have been. Morgan Freeman, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, what are some possible reasons my ex would block me 6 months into no contact? I know I shouldn't care, but I want to hear your perspective. Okay, Morgan Freeman, great question. So you guys have been broken up and you've gone no contact. 6 months into the no contact, she blocks you suddenly. Okay. My first guess is that your ex was thinking about your relationship. Okay. She probably got mad that you've gone no contact and was just like, I need a fresh start. I can't be thinking about this guy anymore. I don't want him on my mind. I want to just have a blank slate and I want to just block him and start afresh so that I'm not thinking about him. My mind isn't kind of like constantly checking his, our old text messages, Instagram, seeing what he's doing, looking at his stories, like whatever she was, whatever she blocked you on. That's probably what it is. I mean, that's like what a lot of girls feel. Where it's just like, I keep thinking about this guy and I need to stop. I need to just move on once and for all. You know what I'm saying? That is basically the most common reason. That, or she could be like thinking about your relationship and just be like, oh, I can't stop thinking about what he did wrong to me. Like, I don't know, if let's say you cheated on her or something like that. I'm not saying you did, let's just say. So then she might get angry and just be like, you know what, fuck him. I'm gonna block him. Get a fresh start. Same kind of deal. Or maybe, possibly, she was hoping that you would reach out to her. Okay. And it got to a point 6 months in where it's just like, fuck that guy. I thought he would reach out to me and he hasn't. He, I thought he would like realize what he had and lost and come back, and he hasn't. Fine. He must not really like me. I'm blocking him. I need to have a fresh start. Like, it's over. These are, in my opinion, the three most common reasons why someone would block you. What do you think, Morgan Freeman? Could it be one of those? What's your take? And thanks again so much for a super chat. Okay, Green Hamster, I'm not sure if you're still here, but you said, I've been watching your vids for a few years, so thank you for all the advice. I'm going on a third date this weekend to a concert, and she wants to stay the night at a hotel. How can I escalate? Okay, wonderful situation, Green Hamster. Okay, this is perfect. She basically wants to have... Okay, I'm not saying she signed on a dotted line, but the fact that she wants to stay the night at a hotel with you is a very good sign, okay? She's into you. How can you escalate? Okay. So there's different things you can do. Like, for example, you could bring like drinks to the hotel room, okay? Or you could like go to the, I don't know what kind of hotel it is, but like you go to the hotel bar and like have drinks and then come up. But the basic principle here is you want to make sure you guys are physically next to each other in the hotel room. Okay, so let's say you're sitting on the bed together, or let's say she booked a room with double beds. God forbid, right? You want to, here's a good tip, okay? Get your phone, save some like funny memes or videos on your phone that she might like, and be like, yo, come here, I want to show you something. Sit next to her so that you're side by side. Show her the video on your phone, okay? So that will kind of break the proximity barrier. That way you're next to her. The main goal is to get next to her, okay? And then do certain things like try to like break the touch barrier a little by doing things like you could put her legs in your lap, you could give her a neck massage, you can like brush a strand of hair and tuck it behind her ear. You can, if she has some like lint on her shirt, you can pick it off. If she's wearing some jewelry, you could try to touch it and be like, oh, this is really nice. You can do the old palm reading trick. Whatever you do, if she has a scrunchie around her wrist, this is one of my consultation people came up with this one. You can kind of just touch it and move it around. You got to make up excuses to touch, get close in kind of socially borderline acceptable ways. All right. That's how you do it. Okay. You could even give her a foot massage, like some guys do that. But the closer you are physically to each other, the more she will start wanting to get even closer, basically. Then make sure, whatever you do, to try to kiss her. Okay. I mean, obviously read the room. Like if she's just like, this was a horrible idea to stay at the hotel with you. But if things are going well, you're having fun together, it's great, the chemistry is flowing, you want to kiss her. That is, bottom line, what you have to do. It's going to be easier if you do what I said before. Get close, break the touch barrier and everything through those methods. But the ultimate goal is kissing her. from kissing her, things are going to proceed naturally to a make out, and then whatever you want to do after that with her, agreement. But you'll be able to, feel that out yourself. So that is how you escalate. Does that make sense, Green Hamster? So Morgan Freeman says she also put on her status living in peace right after blocking. Yep. So basically Morgan Freeman says, yeah, that makes sense. She hurt me by emotionally cheating. So I just cut her off and told her it was best we go our separate ways. Yeah, so Morgan Freeman, that's a reason for breaking up that she will probably feel aggrieved by. She will kind of feel like probably she's the victim, I'm guessing. So she will kind of feel like, I still liked him, but he was all sensitive and triggered because I had this male friend and he couldn't handle it. So I liked this guy a lot, Morgan Freeman. I really liked him and he like broke my heart. So I just need to block him, stop thinking about him, and move on. That's my guess. So, yeah. CyberLA says fit the template and follow the script. Yes, CyberLA, yes, you got it. Yeah. CyberLA, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, how important is intimacy in getting to know a new girl? I've watched too much media recently and might be objectifying girls too much. All right, CyberLA, so clarify for me. Are you talking about how important is sex in getting to know a new girl? And you've watched too much porn recently and might be objectifying girls too much? Am I translating this correctly? You know, here's the thing, okay? People have different sex drives, okay? So for some girls, intimacy is more like emotional intimacy because they don't really care about sex that much, okay? There's a spectrum that everybody falls on between hypersexual and asexual, okay? And it's not just, oh, women are asexual and men are hypersexual. No. There's many women who are hypersexual and many women who are asexual and many guys who are pretty much asexual and many guys who are hypersexual. So for the women who are asexual, they're not going to put too much importance on sex in getting to know someone at all. It's not important to them, okay? If it's important to you, you want to avoid those people because you want to get a good match so that you don't have horrible dead bedroom issues in your life. You want to find someone whose sex is important to. And that's findable, but anyway. So how important is intimacy in getting to know a new girl? Well, most girls are going to want to go on a date at least, bare minimum first, okay? Unless you meet at the club and people are like super drunk or, a concert or something, a festival. But like, let's say you get a girl's number, bare minimum, she's going to want like a date first before sex. Some girls may want 3 dates first before sex. And some girls might be like on one of these texts like, oh, no sex till commitment or whatever. So, I guess my point is it's going to be different levels of importance to different people. You know what I'm saying? If you're hypersexual, it will be important. Girl who's like liking sex after a date or two should probably be like, yeah, I want to have sex. I like getting to know someone that way. But for a different girl, especially the virgins you guys all love, it's not going to be at the top of their mind. Okay? So they're going to want a lot more romance and emotional intimacy and commitment, and you to pursue them a lot more and give them a lot more and invest in them a lot more before having sex. So, yeah. What do you think, Sacrilege? Oh, so he says getting to know a girl through conversations. Well, that's very important. That's very important. Pretty much all girls will want that. Okay, I've been reading a really interesting book called Boy Mom, basically, and it's kind of about like boys and the pressure to be masculine and just basically the societal expectations and pressures that men grow up with. And she talks a lot about basically how differently girls and guys are. She doesn't know if it's socialized or just how different they are, in that women are very, 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 very like social, basically growing up. It's all about intimacy, it's all about friendships, it's all about these deep, intimate friendships and stuff. Whereas guys, maybe they're more like monologuing about a shared interest. They're kind of like, online, talking to their friends, playing video games and stuff like that. So they kind of are not up to, what's the word? Up to par with just how fluent girls are socially and just how good and deep and regular girls have like deep conversations with each other, basically. So girls expect that from guys. And they don't really know that a lot of guys are kind of like maybe not as skilled. Maybe they don't do that with their male friends. Maybe it's kind of different, like talking to guys and stuff. But yeah, girls expect conversations for sure. So, what do you think, Cyberly? Oh gosh, it's so dark in here. What is happening? I don't have any real good lights here. Okay, how about that? A little better? All right, so where were we in the chat here? So Morgan Freeman says, yeah, I guess I was sensitive, but she was really trying to pit me against that other guy, and I didn't want anything to do with that. Well, say more, Morgan Freeman. So Hedonese says, very important to be compatible on that one, the sex drive spectrum. It really is, Hedonese. It's extremely important, okay? Like, I don't understand how people don't see, like, how important it is. Because I guess it's not really that important if you're the one with the low sex drive, but if you're the one with the high sex drive, it's everything. It's very important. You don't want to be with someone who traps and starves you, basically. And you made a commitment to be monogamous. You're basically screwed at that point, unless you get divorced or they're open to an open relationship. It's just a mess. So, okay, so Chennai man in Hyderabad says he's having an issue here. He says, what to do if a woman is on a hangout with you and you touch her casually and she pulls back? Just side arms and shoulders. Yeah, actually, I was liking her noodles-like hair, so I went to touch that, but she pulled away. This is not good, Chennai man. We were just sitting outside an evening, and just casually I wanted to touch, for which she told you get her permission, and touching her hair is not wrong, and then she left immediately. Well, it sounds like she was very uncomfortable, okay? She probably didn't, I mean, her actions told you she did not appreciate that you touched her hair. So, yeah, it seems in this case that she, you know, wasn't open to it for whatever reason. Maybe she doesn't like you. Maybe she likes you, but not really that way. Maybe she's dating someone else. Maybe she's in love with someone else. Maybe she doesn't like being touched. Maybe she doesn't like her hair being touched. I mean, there could be so many different things, but I think it was very clear in what she did. Luckily, she kind of stuck up for herself and showed you in a very clear way, I don't like it. And she left. So that's very good. So Jeffrey Cuddletrout says, "Can you give any advice on how to deal with jealousy? A woman I am dating is very suspicious and gets very jealous." Well, Jeffrey, do you give her any reason to be jealous? Do you look at other women? Do you follow a lot of women on social media? Do you kind of give her like lukewarm praise and compliments? Anything like that? Because those are things you can work on to make her feel more secure. But, some people are just super jealous no matter what. So Chennai Man says, "I heard dating advice that we need to take the first steps as a man, but I don't know how to be calibrated." Well, Chennai Man, yes, you tried, and it sounds like she just wasn't into it. That's gonna happen with everybody. Okay? You might try to like do a little bit of kind of like societally acceptable touch, and she pulls back. Okay, well that's the sign, okay, with this one it's not gonna work. But you made a move, you shot your shot, you gave it a shot, you tried, but you have to accept rejection too. And if she's not into it, you can just accept that. Be like, okay, like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm very sorry. And move on to somebody else. So that's normal. Cyber says, "Great point. Yes, girls are much better at deep conversations, while some men hate small talk. But conversations are essential to connect with a girl." Yes, they are essential. That's true. That is true. Eventually, they will become essential, at the very least. Yes. Evan Wills one says, "I don't think it's a skill thing between men and women. I think men, they have very different ways of relating. Men prioritize conversations around interests. Like you said, it's camaraderie over intimacy." Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting way of describing it as well. Yes, and is one better or worse? I don't know either. Yeah, like maybe they're just different, and they're both good. But the book that I'm reading is kind of saying like, yeah, but this actually leaves men feeling very lonely because they actually can't share their feelings with people they trust because like male on male conversations aren't really like set up like that for the most part. I mean, obviously there's a lot of exceptions and everything. But do you agree with that, Evan Wells one? Because like the at least the people she's talking about in the book, it's like kind of leaves this feeling of disconnection and like they can't ever really talk about the things that are really bothering them. So would it bother you guys? I'm curious. Dark Trap Studio says, "Yes, 100% agree." On what point, Dark Trap? So Jeffrey Cuddletrout says, "I am a big flirt, but she knew that going in. I'm not a cheater, but I have previously dated non-exclusively openly though." Well, there you have it, Jeffrey Cuddle Trousers. She probably thought she likes the fact that, you're good with women, you're good socially, you flirted with her, but she probably didn't really know that it would be quite difficult to handle the fact that not only are you good at flirting with her, and not only does she like the way you flirt, but she knows that if she likes the way you flirt, other women are going to like the way you flirt too. So that's probably difficult for her to handle. And, just because she went into it knowing that she probably didn't realize the full extent of how it was going to make her feel. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, if you really like her, though, Jeffrey Cuddle Trousers, you could try to make her feel really secure by telling her things like, for example, my boyfriend, he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's a big flirt at all, but like I tell you guys on my channel, he will, like, he'll always tell me if he flirts with someone, and he'll flirt with just different people. Like right now, he's playing all these poker tournaments, so he'll flirt with different people at the poker table and stuff, and he makes me feel very like good about it because he'll just be like, almost like, oh, I just was kind of trying to make her feel good, and I don't know, like I kind of like that he does it too because I'm like, good, he's kind of practicing his skills and he's making these women feel good and have a good time. So I know it's not serious, so you could just kind of make her feel like, trust me, like you're the one I want, you're the one I love. None of these girls can compare to you. I enjoy flirting and enjoying life, but like, trust me, they got nothing on you. You're the best. These kinds of things can help her feel more secure. So let's see, I'm looking through the chat here. Mr. Justin says, Victoria, I sent you an email about doing collab, wondering if you received it. Yes, Mr. Justin, I received it. The only problem is I haven't been able to watch the channel you sent me yet, like the video where you do like the dates and everything. So I've been waiting to get a chance to watch through it. But I appreciate your kind words and support and interest as well. So freedom. So let's see what you guys are saying about this. So Be What It Is says, life of a man gets lonelier the more you refine yourself. The bigger the weight on your shoulders, the fewer people you can relate to. Kind of a lonely at the top sentiment, right? Be What It Is. Freedom Fox One says, most guys only have intimate conversations with our closest confidants. That's a very healthy thing and part of what makes us men. Okay, well, I mean, most women basically only have intimate conversations with their closest confidants, but I mean, yeah. So then, so Chennai Man says, how to approach beautiful girls in the street. I previously did that, but right now, after not getting results, I am not going out approaching women. What do you do if you want to approach again? Well, here's a tip I got from a different guy who was kind of in a program, like a paid program, kind of for men, for this kind of thing. And this guy was saying, stop trying to approach beautiful women, okay? Start with talking to anyone. Like, it's a skill and you're not ready for it. It's like lifting a 500-pound weight at the gym or whatever. Maybe you're ready for like a 25-pound weight or something like that. So just talk to people. Don't try to talk to the person who makes you the most nervous, where your self-esteem is on the line. Just start talking to men, kids, old women, middle-aged women, women you're not attracted to, men you're not attracted to, grandparents. Do you know what I'm saying? Just get comfortable talking to people first and work up to it. That's one way. Another way is you can go with a friend, so you kind of have like a motivation buddy. Another way is you can hire like a dating coach and they can kind of give you accountability. Those are a few ways. Francisco says, being beautiful is all that works. Others will decide if they accept you or not, even before you open your mouth. That's another good point, Francisco. You can just work on your looks maxing. Really, really go hard on that. Fire Junkie says, I had a third date with this girl, and I know we have a real connection, touched, etc., and I have a feeling she wanted me to kiss, but I didn't read the signs at the time. How can you tell she wanted to kiss? Well, by the time a girl's going on a third date with you, a kiss is like expected. Like pretty much girls expect the guy to try to kiss them on the first date. They can, if they don't want to kiss the guy, they will dodge the kiss, basically. But the guy should try to kiss, and if she's like, oh no, and like just gives you a side hug or whatever, that's your sign she doesn't want to kiss. But you try to kiss on the first date. If you didn't try to kiss on the first date, you got a chance on the second date. But by the third date, like there's no excuse. Like she is expecting this guy should be trying to kiss me, basically. So if she doesn't want it, she will move away. Or she will say, no, I don't like you like that. Oh, I'm sorry. I just see you as a friend. I mean, she's been on 3 dates with you. She's probably not going to say that because you don't accept 3 dates for the guy if you just see him like as a friend. You're not kind of interested at this point. But yeah, you should be trying to kiss her. You don't have to know that she wants it completely. Okay? You just go in like 90%, and that last 10% she can pull away. Francisco says, I learned looks maxing about 3 days ago and concluded I am ugly and that's the reason I am single. Well, Francisco, it could be, okay? However, there's a lot of hope, all right? Please don't become one of these black pillars who just decide looks maxing is impossible. It's not impossible, trust me. My BFF philosophy junkies out here looks maxed to an unbelievable extent, all right? He, and I hope I'm not sharing too much. I shouldn't have said his name, but he used to think he was ugly, okay? And I was always saying, you're not ugly and everything. But now that he looks maxed so hard, I see that you could have good bone structure and it's not enough. You could have a normal, average, like, he looks like a normal guy looking face, and it's still not enough. You have to fit the template. You have to go hardcore. You have to pay attention to the details. Okay, every detail you pay attention to is privilege that you will get. So, this could be a good thing, Francisco, if you realize, instead of ugly, look at it as I'm not fitting the beauty template that girls want. That's okay. I can become the template. All right? There's a lot you can do. It's going to take some work, some analysis, but there's a lot you can do. So don't give up, okay? And don't believe the certain section of the black pill manosphere that says there's nothing you can do, because there's a lot you can do. Trust me. Just look at a before and after video of guys getting haircuts, and you will see the massive difference, just like a different hairstyle can make, all right? But don't stop there. Oh, yes, Nani shared this app with me, Umax. Check that app out. It seems pretty interesting, or at least entertaining at the very least, where it kind of like rates your looks. Nani, it seemed pretty entertaining, yeah. I wonder if it's for girls as well. Should be interesting. Probably not. But yeah, check out that app, Umax. And also check out these other kind of like beauty consultants. Like, for example, this guy, JC the Catalyst. I see him doing lives on TikTok all the times where he's kind of like teaching people about the science of beauty. And he does consultations for people. There's a lot of people like that. You guys probably know some other people like that. I think that guy like Wheat Waffles does it, although he's going to tell you to get plastic surgery. Francisco says, surprised you know about looks maxing. Yes, I do. Thanks to my friend Philosophy Junkies. He blackpilled me. Oh, Francisco says, I'm crying. Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, Francisco. I'm so sorry. I I believe in you. I know you can do this. And if you want, you can reach out to me and maybe I can get my friend to share with you his tips and his before and after. I want him to do consultations himself because like he has really refined this to like a high art. But because like he studied his own face, he has a lot of cool techniques himself, but like he allowed me to share kind of like his before and after and some tips with some other people. So just email me my nonotherlife@gmail.com. It's not easy, okay? It's not easy. It's a lot of work. For example, Shira 7, she's kind of like I don't know if you guys know who Shira 7 is, but she's kind of like an evil dating advice guru for women. And trust me, she talks about looks maxing for women all the time. Okay. So, yeah. And I always think, should I do it? But I'm like, yeah, I don't really need to. So, I mean, I don't need to because my boyfriend's just like, oh, you're beautiful the way you are and everything. So I'm like, what's the point? But sometimes I do think about it like, hmm. But we'll see. Maybe in a few months. I did go through a period of extreme looks maxing when I was a stripper, but now I kind of just backed off on my looks maxing. Oh, Francisco says, I've had a waffles consultation. 3 out of 10. Need to lose body fat. Gonna start over with that. Thank you, but I'm black pilled. Yeah. Oh, well, that's. Uh, yeah, I saw a wheat waffles consultation that he did for this other person, and he like recommended like plastic surgery and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my God. But you got to start somewhere, Francisco. So, yeah, you can do this. You can do this little by little, step by step. Not easy, but doable. All right, Mad Crep says, I can't make anything last longer than a month. I've been with 3 girls this year so far, but they all dumped me after 5 dates. I can't get honest feedback, obviously. So how do I figure out what I'm doing wrong? Okay. 5 dates is a lot. You must have text messages with them as well. So what I think you should do, Mad Crap, at this point is get a dating consultation because I do them, other people do them. You don't have to do them with me, but I do them because we could go through how they went, your text messages, what they said to you, and I could point out to you if there's any obvious mistakes that you are making, okay? And there's a lot that guys can make. So, yeah, you're not going to get honest feedback from them, but you can get honest feedback from a dating coach. So, I would suggest that. All right, guys. I kind of skipped around in the chat a bit. Mad Crab says, does texting really make a woman get the ick that badly? Yeah, it can. You can be doing some very bad things in texts. I've seen them. It definitely could make someone get the ick, for sure. But I'm curious, Mad Crab, if you had to guess what it was there anything the woman said to you? Like, what was the reason they gave? I'm not saying it's going to be, completely honest and transparent or whatever, because they probably didn't want to hurt your feelings. But what did they say was the reason they broke up with you? Dark Trap Studio says, should we take more time than the girl to answer? Same time, doesn't matter. Um, it depends what approach you want to take, okay? Taking a little more time can kind of make you seem a little more higher value, in my opinion. However, maybe the chemistry is so strong you don't need to resort to dirty techniques like that. But in general, for a guy, it's, I think, good to just play it a little bit cool, okay? So just take your time. Makes you look busy, not desperate. So Jules Video Archive says, I've thought about this before and would like your answer. Doesn't it make sense to never actually marry a woman because then she'd slowly lose respect for me over time since I'm officially committed, as opposed to having the small possibility I could leave whenever? Like always being with her, have the wedding, but never sign the contract? Um, I don't think that just because you marry a woman and you've officially committed to a woman, she loses respect for you. Like, for example, when Beardo asked me to be his girlfriend, it wasn't like a slow decline from there where I lost respect for him. So it's not necessarily like this direct connection. So I'm curious, like, why you think. So you're basically saying just because you commit to someone, they automatically lose respect for you? Like, or once you officially commit to someone, they would. Why do you think that would make them lose respect? Necessarily. I'm curious. I'm not saying it can't happen in a marriage for other reasons, but I'm curious. So Jules' video says, I'm trying to define when the chase ends because the obsession dwindles directly as a result to at least a small degree. I don't really agree with that. Like, for example, let's say you are committed to her and now you get more emotionally connected, your sex is even better, and you're having like crazy sex all the time. Your obsession does not dwindle. If anything, your obsession gets greater. Lots of girls feel very obsessed with their boyfriends. And for example, like in my relationship, my obsession didn't dwindle. So even to a small degree, it's the same. It's the same amount of obsession. So then he says, marriage definitely ends the chase. My point is kind of if I say, till death do us part, she won't subconsciously feel like there's nothing she can do to lose me. Well, you can always get divorced. I mean, people say till death do us part, but, you could act like super distant in the relationship and kind of like emotionally disconnect. You could get divorced. You could cheat on her. There's lots of stuff you could do in a relationship that to a woman feel like, you know, death, basically. So it's not just like there's not like you could just withdraw like from her presence and she's kind of felt like I lost him kind of. So I don't really agree that, you know, but I mean if you don't want to get married, you don't have to or anything. Like I don't really want to get married, but and I understand why guys wouldn't want to get married. So you don't have to get married, but I don't think that getting married is the cause of her, like, losing interest. Snow Woman says, you look like you lost a lot of weight recently. I kind of did. Not a lot, though. In a few months, all will be revealed. And no, I'm not on Ozempic. So. Antari says, well, what do you guys think? I mean, I kind of feel like there's, I don't know. I just don't think it, like, really works like that. There's a lot of things you can do to make her lose her obsession with you, but is getting married itself or being committed itself one of those things? I don't think so. But, I mean, I've kind of heard, like, Esther Perel and stuff say stuff like that. Like, but I don't know. It hasn't been true for me. That's for sure. Antari says, your vids helped me realize that I was not embracing my masculine energy and therefore not fulfilling the male role in my relationships. Lost me multiple girlfriends. At least now I can work on it. Thank you. That's great, Antari's. I like that name. That's a cool name. So I'm curious, how were you not embracing it before? And how are you gonna change now? Alright, guys, well, I'll probably go pretty soon. But if anyone has any last-minute questions, you guys have been giving me some great questions. Floyd Runner says, feelings about sexting, Victoria? It's not good to do too early, okay? Like, let's say you just met someone and you get their number and you haven't been on a date yet, but you're just, like, horny, so you try to sext with them. It's not a good idea because then the girl won't actually meet up with you for the most part. It's unusual that she will. Because you'd have to be very sexually confident, empowered, and forward in order to meet up with you after you've sexted, because that kind of feels to her like, okay, I basically signed on the dotted line. Like, I already sexted, now we have to have sex. So that's a lot of pressure for the woman. So you don't want to sext usually until you have gone on a date and established things. Okay, but once you are in a relationship or you're very, like, comfortable with where you're at, you've been on multiple dates, you've had sex and stuff, and she likes you and she's like, come over again, you can sext. Like, sexting is great. I like sexting, okay? But many guys try to do it way too soon, turning the girl off. There's this group I'm in, it's kind of funny, on Facebook, and it's called, like, enough small talk, let's talk about my penis or whatever. And it's just basically girls posting examples of guys who have tried to sext way too soon. And they're like, what the hell, bro? Like, why did you ruin it? And they, of course, block them and delete it and stuff. So, yeah. IDK says, Victoria didn't like my contributions this chat. Well, I don't know why you would say that, IDK. I mean, I guess it's like sarcasm or something, but I did like yours. So, I don't see why you'd say that. Chosen One says, after how many dates should I ask her to be my girlfriend? It really depends, but I would give it at least 3, bare minimum, and preferably more like 7. So Antara says, I was not taking the initiative to organize a relationship, was not giving off protector/provider energy, was basically acting like a passive boy, not an assertive man, working on confidence now. Sounds very good, Antares. Sounds very good. Rainer says, my dating error is not being born at 6'4", Chad. Yep. Life on easy mode, right, Rainer? Be What It Is says, playing the piano much? I've been teaching my oldest and it inspired my musical muse. Oh, very cool. I have been taking lessons while I'm out here. At these Airbnbs. Interesting. Like my piano teacher, he's very eccentric now. He's been teaching me how to use MuseScore and like write my own stuff, and it's cool. Dave Bach says, last question, and don't lie, are wiener pics a good idea? Chicks say no, but secretly love them, don't they, lol? No, Dave, they're not a good idea, okay? And somebody commented today on my channel saying, and it might have, I hope it wasn't you, Dave, but it was some other guy, and he was like, be honest. And he said, chicks do like wiener pics as long as they're like big, and they definitely share them with their friends. And I had to burst his bubble and be like, no, they don't. They don't, okay? But you guys have to understand is that big dicks aren't like some kind of status symbol like they are for, like, it's hard to explain. How do I explain this? Women, they don't, in my opinion, women would prefer kind of like a guy who's wearing like jeans and you see like the outline of the dick rather than the dick, okay? Like in all its veiny glory or whatever. They don't want to see it like that up close, okay? Unless they're in the heat of sexting. It's like, the runway, right? Let's say they are turned on all the way at the peak. They're at a 10, they're at 100, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10 or scale 1 to 100. That's when they might want to see the full flesh, all right? But it's not like guys, okay? Like, for example, on FetLife, every single guy's profile photo is literally like his dick or like some really graphic body part. Okay, it's just not appealing to the female gaze. It's like no women wants to see that when they're just kind of like typing. They don't want to see something that's so in your face. Okay? So it just seems a little silly to women because it's kind of like female sexuality. They want to see something that's more hinting at it, almost on the runway up to that. When they're turned on, sure, maybe they want to see the full thing, okay? But they're not turned on like you guys all the time, okay? For the most part, they're kind of like simmering at maybe like a 1 to 4. Whereas you guys, it's like you got your dick out and you're at a 10 or something. And you're watching porn or something. I don't know. So, no, the dick pic is not a good idea, okay? It might be kind of like a titillating novelty for a woman, like, or it might just be like, oh, not again. He sent the dick pic. It might be kind of interesting, but it's not going to be the turn on like it would be if a woman sent you like 2 breasts, 2 circles. Oh my God, I'm seeing 2 body parts. This is incredible. Wow. No, it's not going to be like that for a woman. All right. And even if it's really big, all right, they're still not going to be like, yo, get a load of this and like send it to their group chat. I mean, it would be more like as a joke. It wouldn't be like, oh, damn, you're going to get like so much sexual pleasure out of that. No, because what you guys also don't understand is that the dick itself does not give sexual pleasure. I'm sorry. It gives pleasure, but you guys need to focus on the clit. That's what gives the real sexual pleasure, and the mind. The clit and the mind together give maximum sexual pleasure. The dick is very good, okay, but it's not the peak. So women are not as focused on dicks as you guys think we are. Because you guys think, oh, if the dick is really big, then she comes everywhere and like she comes 100 times. Oh my God. No, she doesn't. Okay. A big dick is kind of more like a status symbol for a girl, like basically in her mind thinking, oh, I'm with the alpha, he's got like a big dick. But it's kind of just more like an afterthought. It's not like, oh my gosh, I'm getting all my sexual pleasure because the dick is big. No. The orgasms come from the clit. Remember that. Anybody else is selling something, literally. Line from The Princess Bride. Anyone who says differently is selling something. Pretty much. So, yeah. A lot of guys are just very focused on dick size, and they just think, oh, if I just had a big dick, then I could, like, really, be pleasured and, like, appreciated and desired by women. No, it's not like that. I'm not saying it's bad to have a big dick. It's good. Not for every woman, because some women are very short and small, okay? But if they're tall, they might like the big dick, basically. But it's not where the orgasms are coming from. It's more just like additional sensual stimulation. So, yeah. Floyd Runner says, no blue rivers. What does that mean? Floyd Runner's silhouette and innuendo. Leave things to the imagination, like lingerie is better than naked. Yeah. When the woman is not yet at the peak of arousal, it is better to build up to it, create tension. So Dave06 says, I just feel immediately uncomfortable around a woman. I feel like they can see all my insecurities and I'm stuck inside. I talk myself down and I can feel she's turned off. What can I do? Yeah. Well, first of all, you feel immediately uncomfortable around a woman. Probably Dave, like I had a consultation with someone yesterday and we wrote down like all the negative thoughts which were causing him not to approach someone. They were very valid thoughts that a lot of guys could get trapped in, okay? There are definitely things that I see thousands and thousands of times on my channel that are kind of like half true, and you kind of have to sort out like why they're not completely true and why you can still approach women anyway and still talk to women anyway. But I mean, until you really sort that out for yourself, these thoughts are going to make you feel very uncomfortable. So I feel like we need to figure out, what are you thinking that's causing your insecurities? I'm sure they're quite valid. You know what I mean? Like they're plausible. They make sense. So you have to have somebody who kind of like sees the tiny flaw in your thinking to be like, yeah, that definitely seems like it makes sense, but there's one flaw in your thinking. Okay, so I could help you do that, Dave. But anyway, next point. You feel like women can see all your insecurities. All right, I'll point out the flaw in that one right now. They can't. All right, they can feel that maybe you're uncomfortable, but trust me, they don't know why. They do not know why. That's for sure. I guarantee you that. It's unfortunate, okay? Women don't know a lot about men's minds. They're clueless, okay? Just like a lot of you guys, not you guys necessarily follow my lives, but a lot of men are very clueless about what women are thinking. Women are equally clueless. They don't get it. All they know is, how they grew up, what they think. They don't necessarily understand your fears, your insecurities, your vulnerabilities, your weaknesses. They don't know. However, they can maybe feel, all right, this guy isn't necessarily the best with women. He seems a little nervous. He seems uncomfortable, but they definitely don't know he is deeply insecure. Like, trust me, they don't. So, yeah. What you can do? Well, you can work on untangling and untwisting all the thoughts that are making you uncomfortable, and you can learn the appropriate script, basically, that women are expecting and wanting to hear, and do that instead. So it's like two things. One, kind of getting rid of your insecurities, like inner work, and then two, just learning what to say. You know what I mean? Simple as that. So what do you think, Dave? Alien Traveler says, what is the script women are expecting to hear? I mean, like, one thing sometimes in my consultations we do is like go over, let's say, a date. There's kind of a script that women are expecting from a guy. You know, women have gone on lots of dates. I told you guys, I went on like 300 dates plus. And that's like official dates. Okay? Where you're like sitting down at the restaurant, at the bar, at the coffee shop, at the park, you know, at the museum, wherever you went on the date. They're expecting the dates to basically proceed a certain way, according to a script, almost a script for how the man should act and how like the woman should act. So yeah, like if you deviate too much from that script, they're gonna be like, what's this? Like, no. Do you know what I'm saying? If a guy comes over to your place and you're into him and you want to possibly have sex with him, there's a script, basically, that there's like a set of actions and behaviors that most guys who are good with women take. And the more you can join in, the more the women are going to be like, oh, okay, things are going smoothly, fluidly, according to plan. I know what to expect. This guy is taking the masculine role that I want. Very good. Okay. But the more you kind of just do things that women are not expecting, the more they're like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Basically. No. So Dark Trap says, what makes us question ourselves is our experience and our brainwashing we've had all our lives since we know how to talk. What brainwashing and experience is that, Dark Trap? Asian 15 says, a girl once told me it's not about the size of the wave, it's about the motion of the ocean. Well, I know this is like a common phrase, but I don't agree with it. Okay, I think you guys should all read the book Becoming Cliterate. It explains it so clearly, better than any book I've ever read, like what sex should be like, in my opinion. It's truly a brilliant book. Okay, and this common phrase is kind of perpetuating a myth about female sexuality, that it's not about the size of the dick, which I agree with, but it is about the way the dick is moving. No, because the sad truth is it's not really about the dick. It's about the clitoris. Okay? So it's a sad myth that a lot of women, they just expect that they're supposed to have vaginal orgasms from like the motion of the dick. Okay, well, 95% of women don't come from any kind of penetration, and that's even kind of like a low estimate. When they are, well, there's different statistics about it, but basically this book Becoming Cliterate goes through all of them. The main point is a very small fraction of women are even capable of orgasming from PIV with no clitoral stimulation. So basically what the book is saying is make sure whatever she's doing basically to orgasm on her own, she's bringing into the bedroom with you. And then she'll have guaranteed orgasms every time. And 95% of women, I think it was even 97% in some studies, do not use any kind of penetration to orgasm when they're on their own. They just stimulate the clit. So, yeah, this idea that like the motion of the dick could make her come is true for only a very tiny percentage of women where their clitoris is basically like closer than most women's basically to the vaginal canal than it is, the clit's like up here and the vaginal canal's like down here basically. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. But just read the book Becoming Clitorate because it explains it so well. It's not about the motion of the ocean. The motion could be good, but when it comes to orgasm, it's not the point. So Ella says, also, what are your thoughts on G-spot stimulation and A-spot stimulation? Well, only certain guys really are so sexually accomplished that they can like find the G-spot and everything like that. But, it's a very cool experience. But, not many guys are like that sexually educated, but it doesn't feel as good as clitoral stimulation in my opinion. But I guess for different women, different things feel better or worse. It's cool, but it's not the same as like a real orgasm. I guess some people claim they can, but orgasm from the G spot and stuff alone, it's very controversial and dubious. Okay, a lot of studies say they can't. A lot of people are like, a lot of sexual scientists are like, that's kind of impossible. And then other people say, oh no. So it's controversial. It's very still controversial, but there's like squirting and stuff from the G spot, yeah, but it doesn't feel like an orgasm necessarily. So, but it's pretty cool. And then the A spot, yeah, I mean, very sensitive in different people. I mean, it's very good. Yeah, you could have an orgasm from that from certain people, but the clitoris is the main thing. Agent 15 says, Becoming Clitorate by Dr. Lord. Exactly. Good book. IDK says, girls are constantly pinging you where she is in her arousal state /feel/5. She will never go from 0 to 100. But if she's interested and at like a 10 out of 100, she will ping that. If you as a man respond to her 10 out of 100 in just the right way, it'll bring her higher. Let's say 30 out of 100. At this point, she's making solid eye contact and staying with your shot. Well, I kind of agree with you. Like a lot of what you said. Like a girl could go 0 to 100. So I wouldn't say she will never go from 0 to 100. She definitely could, but it's more normal for it to be kind of like a slower, gradual approach. But there's definitely things that can make her go from 0 to 100 real quick, but it's unusual. I wouldn't know. I don't know if it's unusual, but I say it's less usual. So, all right, guys. Dave says, thank you for bringing it down a little bit. I mean, it's not always easy to stay calm in myself. Like, the first encounter with the woman is the hardest. How can I build sexual tension without being creepy? Yep, Dave. Okay. Well, I can definitely, I mean, let's just say some of the basics, right? One way, we've talked about it, looks maxing, right? Well, let's see what is next. If you try to move things forward, maybe 75 out of 100, and start talking sexually towards her, she may not be comfortable just because it's kind of uncommon, but that doesn't mean she's into it. But then, yeah. Oh, that's different. Sorry, that's not Dave. You guys were just the same color icon. Sorry. So, Dave's, let's focus on yours. Like, how do you build a sexual tension without being a creep? Well, are we talking on a date? Are we talking in the bedroom? Are we talking when, like, you first talk to them? When you first approach them and try to get their number? Nani says, "Are you leaving this live up? I want to rewatch this." Sure, Nani. I'll leave it up. I'll leave this one up. Although I started this live in kind of a weird way because Beardo called, so I just talked to him on the phone for the first little bit of this live. So that's kind of awkward, but. Uh-oh, I gotta go. All right, guys, I gotta go, unfortunately. Thank you guys so much for fun live tonight. I really enjoyed it. And thank you guys for so much super chats tonight. I really appreciate it. All my generous super chat supporters. Ella says, "Are you down for a consultation?" Absolutely, guys. You can book consultations through my Calendly link, which I have in all my videos. I should really just put it right here, right? Let me just do that. Okay, but all right, I'll put it in after. I'll put it in, but anyway, hold on one second, guys. Actually, why don't I just do this right now? Okay, I got the link. All right, if anyone wants a consultation, you can check out that link. And I know the times are a little weird right now, so if the time doesn't work for you, you can always write me my live@gmail.com. And yeah, Dave, not to be all salesy with you, Dave, but if you want to talk about how to escalate physically without being a creep, we can go through that in a consultation. I really got to make some short videos, guys. Well, I'll be honest with you guys, for a while. Okay, so I read this book, okay, and it was about the Children of God cult. And it was so disturbing. Okay, this is like a notorious sex cult, okay, sexual abuse like crazy. And this book was so disturbing. I wasn't expecting it to be this disturbing. It's this girl I follow on TikTok. And she's like really interesting. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll read her book. But the book was like so gross and so disturbing that I became like extremely like misandrist. Like I started just becoming like so angry, and I was responding to a lot of comments and like in my channel in like a very harsh, rather, I don't know, brutally honest, but not very sensitive way. Okay. And I was blocking a ton of people, like everybody who commented something I didn't like that I just thought was like very sexist or misogynist or whatever, I would just block. And now I'm reading this new book and it's called Boy Mom. And it's kind of like I was telling you guys earlier about men and basically all the different issues that they kind of face. And I don't know, like it's good. Okay. I mean, I know I'm getting a lot more empathy again. So for a long time, I was just feeling kind of like beaten down by a lot of the misogyny I just see like on the daily in my comments. All right. But there's a deeper grain of truth, in my opinion, to a lot of like the misogynist comments, which is just, people are hurting, people are confused, people don't understand. And like Beardo's always telling me, like, why are you getting mad at the guys for basically not understanding women? Like, that's kind of the point, isn't it? Like, you're teaching them to understand women. So anyway, for a long time, though, it was really getting to me. And I just was like, why would I share kind of all the secrets with you guys? Like, what's the point? Like, why should I? Because it's hard not to take it personally, basically, when everyone is like taking out their anger and rage on me and on women. All right. So I was kind of like, why am I going to try to tell like the secrets to some guy who's like insulting my chin? They love to insult my chin. You know what I'm saying? So people are constantly like being like insanely like just mean. And I'm like, you guys don't deserve it. Okay, not you guys. That's why I like to do my lives, because I feel like people come to my lives, like they're actually interested. They actually care. But on my channel, it's just like a lot of people who just say like insanely annoying stuff constantly. And I'm just like, why would I send it to you guys? Like, I'll tell it to you guys in the live who actually care, but I don't want to just like put it out on the internet. But now with this book that I'm reading now, I'm kind of like, all right, they're hurting. They're hurting bad. The incels, they're hurting bad. So I kind of thinking, maybe they do deserve to know. Maybe this actually could like save a life, not to be like grandiose or whatever, but some things, really could help people a lot. So I'm thinking maybe I will get back into making videos. But that's kind of the reason why I stopped making videos. Because I'm just like, the people come to my lives, like, they deserve it, you know? But everyone else doesn't deserve it. So, anyway. All right, guys. So, yeah, be what it is. It's bring back the old video energy, exactly, yeah. Henny says, you can break your legs and spend 80 grand getting them lengthened to look taller. Oh, God, not the leg lengthening surgery. Oh, no. Oh, because IDK says he's 5'8" and does amazing. Very good. Archetypal Moss says, grew up without a dad, thankful to all the gods. I never fell for the black pill shit. Well, I'm glad you don't need the black pill, archetypical. You're just getting by on the red pill, I guess, right? The black pill is kind of good, though, but can be very disturbing, right? So Dave says, yeah, the woman hate is real and kind of weak. Tell me about it, Dave. It's nonstop woman hate on my channel. Like, you wouldn't believe it. And trust me, I block the worst ones. I'm just like, I can't take this. Like, I'm sorry. Like, no. So then Christian says, cute chin, very kissable. Ew, Christian Hunter. I'm sorry. I know you're probably trying to be nice, but I absolutely hate that way you said that. But, it's a thought that counts, but never say that again, please. So Adrian says, but don't forget, never take anything personal because those people talking shit are really just projecting. Well, yeah, Adrian, it's very easy to say that, when you're not getting like 10,000, 100,000 comments of people talking shit. Everyone says, oh, just ignore it. Well, when you get like 30,000 comments talking shit, it's not as easy as you think to just ignore it. Yeah. Dave says, I'm pretty much incel, but never once chose to focus my frustration on women like ever. Small-minded. Well, Dave, that's very, very good. That's amazing. Really. King J says, your only fan should be your man. Interesting idea there, King J. That's interesting. Dark Trap says, you'll have evil people wherever you go. Yeah, that's true. Tyke says, awesome chin. Guys, please. It's Tyke, that's really not funny. I should never have shared that with you guys because the whole point is it's really annoying, and now you guys are all like, oh wow, like you guys are just making fun of my chin even more. It's really annoying. But oh well, he's joking. That's the male humor for you, right? You gotta like tease people, right? Anyway. Oh guys, this is like I'm horrified right now. Everybody's making like the literal worst comment to me. I'm literally about to throw up. Nani says, you're okay, Vic. I'm sorry you have to go through it. Anybody hating on Charlotte on the channel probably has a small peepee. Nani, thank you. Although one of the things this boy mom book is making me realize is I don't normally ever really do this, but I have to not shame those with small peepees. I mean, we can't, if you do have a small dick, I mean, that could like cause massive insecurity. So then Head and East says, I'm basically an incel too right now, been for a few years. Yes, Head and East. I understand. Hopefully you will break You will break free soon. The Ron Simon is at a wet t-shirt contest. Literally everyone is trying to hit me below the belt with the chin jokes. Be what it says, sex workers provide a great service to society. If you need knowledge, then go to a mechanic. I agree. CM says, do you have any book recommendations? Yes, I link them in my descriptions. All the books that are linked in my Amazon store, it's not really a storefront, it's just you get like a tiny commission. But those are all the books that I think are very good. And trust me, it's not, I've probably read, well, I say 10 books on the topic for every one book that's in there. Obviously, I've read more books than that, but not on the topic. And then Floyd Runner says, Pirates Victoria, the epitome of the sociopath narcissist. Interesting. So, anyway, guys, I gotta get out of here before you guys make any more horrific chin jokes. So, what is Dark Trap saying? You just are showing that you are fragile when doing this. This is pathetic. What's with that, Dark Trap? I thought we were friends. All right, you guys are getting a little weird on me, so I'm gonna get out of here. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful night, except for those who insulted me. Bye.